Welcome. Everyone can be seated. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Belk, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as the Dean of Students here at GW Law School. And I also have the pleasure of welcoming you all to the 2025 Academic Awards celebration. So today is a wonderful day in the life of GW Law, as we'll be presenting some of our finest students with recognition for their hard work and dedication. So I'm also going to play a little bit of cruise director, so I'm going to give you some instructions here and let you know some things. So the celebration is being recorded so that all of the participants can share with their family and friends who weren't able to be here later after it'll be posted online next week. So I'm asking if you could go ahead and silence your cell phones at this time, or if there's a call that you need to take or a baby that you need to soothe, if you could do that outside because it is being recorded. In today's program, faculty and deans will be reading the accomplishments of and the names of our winning students as they come to the podium. But it's a bit of a secret, so I don't know if you all, the family and friends, know this, but your graduates, they actually don't know which award they're winning. They know they won one. I know, it's very exciting. I know. We know, but they don't know. So students, when your name is called, if you could come forward and to receive your award and stand at the center of the stage, and you'll be taking a photo with Dean Matthew. We'll also be sending you information on how to get copies of those photos after the presentation. So also, if you look on the back of your program, there is a QR code, and this will take you to the Academic Awards website. Don't try to go now because, like I said, it's a secret. But after the ceremony, we'll be posting the information of all of the winners. So I said that part. Okay, so with that, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Dana Bowen Matthew. All right, yeah, no, what? Well, just wait till I tell you all the stuff she's done. Then you'll really glad. Dr. Dana Bowen Matthew, the Harold H. Green Professor of Law and Dean of the George Washington University Law School. Dean Matthew joined us at the law school here in August of 2020, and she was the first woman to lead the law school in the law school's 160-year history. She previously served on faculty at the University of Virginia Law School and the University of Colorado Law, and she's held a number of significant positions in the policy world. So since joining GW 4.5 years ago, Dean Matthew has overseen a transformative growth for the law school and the law faculty, and has overseen the establishment of and launch of 12 new legal clinics, a new health and law policy program, and the new Center for Law and Technology. Dean Matthew is also the founder and served as the inaugural faculty director of GW's newly chartered Equity Institute, which is an interdisciplinary research hub dedicated to addressing racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic injustice in the United States and globally. A leader in public health and civil rights law, Dean Matthew is the author of the best-selling book, Just Medicine, A Cure for Racial Inequality in American Healthcare, and the recently released Just Health, Treating Structural Racism to Heal America. She is also the co-author of a case book on public health law, ethics, and policy. A visionary, energetic, and strategic leader. We are so fortunate to have her at the helm of the law school. Folks, if you could please join me in welcoming Dr. Dana Bowen Matthew.
I'm really glad this is being recorded because I'm going to play it for my kids. They don't. Good afternoon. Today, we will be presenting 43 awards. 53 students will receive them, and 6 extremely accomplished students will receive multiple awards. They come into 5 categories. 1, excellence in clinical practice. 2, distinguished accomplishment. The 3rd category, excellence in general field of study. Then excellence in oral advocacy, and overall academic excellence. These categories represent a great breadth of accomplishment, everything from outstanding performance in specific courses, to clinical dedication, to victories in advocacy competitions, to overall excellence as a scholar. A wide range of our very, very best academic students are represented, and we are simply delighted to honor them all. But we are also delighted to honor the community, the partners, the friends, and I learned this morning, the pets that made all of this possible. The faculty here is assembled because we have the utmost respect and joy in watching these accomplishments unfurl. So thanks to all the mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, nieces, and pets, and all who have supported the winners this year. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Apologies in advance if my voice goes out, but like they say, immigrants get the job done. The children of immigrants get the job done too. Thank you, Dean Matthew. Our first clinical award this afternoon is given to a member of the graduating class who has demonstrated extraordinary ability in the immigration clinic and who also possesses the personal qualities that distinguished Manuel and Ana Maria Benitez, both of whom were immigrants, including initiative, creativity, zeal, loyalty, and integrity. Even if it only helped one person, it's worth the effort. This sentence illustrates why my colleague, Professor Vera, herself the daughter of immigrants, and I are excited that this year's winner is considering a career as an immigration lawyer. The immigration bar and our profession generally needs people like her. Among her many accomplishments as a student attorney is that this semester she prepared a list of community resources available to vulnerable persons. We have shared that list widely in the community. One of her colleagues had a client who did not have any suitable winter clothes after arriving from Ethiopia. The colleague contacted an organization on the list, Goods for Good, and was told by the contact person, coincidentally a GW alum, that getting suitable clothes should be the least of immigrants' worries and that the client could go there. When I commented that her list was going to help many people, this year's winner stated, "Even if it only helped one person, it's worth the effort." I repeat, her accomplishments were many, and I'll be happy to share them with you after today's ceremony. Her intelligence, caring, integrity, hard work, dedication, and collegiality define her. It also defines the immigrant population that helped build our nation and will help keep it just and prosperous. I regret that my late parents, Manuel and Ana Maria, immigrants from Mexico, can't meet this year's winner, but I know that they are thrilled that she is receiving this award. The winner of the 2025 Manuel and Ana Maria Benitez Award for Clinical Excellence in Immigration Law is Lily Brickman. It's my pleasure to return the podium to Lori Cohen, Senior Associate Dean, Academic Development, Graduate Programs and Online Learning, Jacob Burns Foundation, and Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs.
Thank you, Professor Benitez. I'm thrilled to be here today to present this year's Community Legal Clinics Volunteer Services Award. And it's awarded to, this year, a team of students, and a team that was enrolled in the Prisoner Civil Rights Division of the Access to Justice Clinic. Each of the students who are awarded today spent 2 semesters in the clinic and volunteered to be on the trial team in a case representing a former inmate suing a number of correctional officers at the Red Onion Prison. Their client's claim was that the officers used excessive force on him and that medical personnel deliberately disregarded his medical needs, claims that fall within the 8th Amendment prohibition on cruel and unusual punishment. This trial team, aided by really the entire clinic, pored over prison videos, organized those videos for trial, prepared voir dire questions for jury selection, practiced an opening statement, planned to call some of the defendants as adverse witnesses, engaged in the actual selection of the jury, and proceeded to try the case in its entirety. They performed to the level of experienced counsel, and their professor, Professor Steve Salzberg, reported that the team made him and their co-faculty extremely proud. The judge, who was presiding over the case, Judge Michael Urbanski, told the team he himself could not have done any better when he was in law school. The team wowed the judge, impressed the jury, and won the respect of opposing counsel. While the client lost the verdict, we won for GW by showing what our students are able to do. This year's award goes to a team from the Prisoner Civil Rights Division, Nina Bundy, Ori Fadida, and Deborah Jaffe. Ori is not able to be here today, but we'll make sure she gets her award. And now I'm thrilled to pass the presentation over to Professor Lula Hagos, the Associate Professor of Law and Director of the Criminal Defense and Justice Clinic.
Thank you, Dean Cohen. Our next award is sponsored by the Clinical Legal Education Association to honor a student or students who, in the judgment of the faculty, has excelled above others in a clinical course. This year's awardee fully embodies the qualities and spirit of the Clinical Legal Education Association Outstanding Student Award. The student shined throughout her time in the Criminal Defense and Justice Clinic, approaching each one of her cases with exceptional creativity, compassion, and tenacity. In one particularly notable case, the awardee's dedication and skill led to a rare and important victory for a client charged with distribution of marijuana. After months of litigation and extensive briefing, the awardee and her clinic partner successfully persuaded the court to dismiss their client's case and find that the Metropolitan Police Department violated their client's rights under the Equal Protection Clause by enforcing DC's marijuana laws in a racially discriminatory manner. Although the awardee's time in clinic concluded in the fall, she continued to work tirelessly on this case throughout the spring, fighting against the government's efforts to reverse the court's decision, and I should add, successfully now. This year's awardee of the Clinical Legal Education Association Outstanding Student Award goes to Kelly Hennessy. I I will now pass over the presentation to National Family Violence Law Center Professor of Clinical Law, Joan Meyer.
The Richard C. Lewis Award is presented to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who has exhibited extraordinary dedication to his or her work in the legal clinics and unusual compassion and humanity toward clients and colleagues. This year we have two awardees because both exemplified the values of the Richard C. Lewis Award, and we were unable to choose between them. I'm going to present the first one, and Dean Cohn is going to come back here to present the second one because it was her student. First one was my own student. This student is a second career law student who came to GW Law from the Child Advocacy Center in DC and also formerly in other states, where she had spent many years providing forensic legal interviews of children who were abused and working with law enforcement and providing expert testimony in court. This student has always cared deeply about at-risk children and wanted to use her law degree to better protect them, having seen some very disturbing failures of justice in the work she had been doing in child advocacy centers. In the Domestic Violence Project Clinic, she worked at Child Justice Incorporated, a unique nonprofit which represents protective parents who advocate for safe outcomes for their children in the custody battle context, which is a little different from the Child Advocacy Center context, which is child welfare state cases. Her work there and her deep commitment to it enabled her to overcome her disillusion, her past disillusion, and taught her that fierce advocacy for protective parents is possible and how to do it, and that it can vindicate safety and justice. For her final paper for the clinic, Anissa, the student, developed a brilliant proposal. Sorry, some of you already knew. Developed a brilliant proposal for improving child protection in the child custody context by admitting skilled forensic interviews, which she was so skilled in doing, in court, where in custody they were never admitted and never relied on, in fact, even though they are arguably a gold standard for determining child abuse. This paper is brilliant and important, and if it gets published, it has the potential to change the field. I believe that Rick Lewis, who was my student many years ago, would be proud to know that his award went to someone with such deep commitment and who produced an original and critical new system reform initiative. Okay. How do we go? Please join me in recognizing Anissa Tanksley.
Thank you, Professor Meyer, for sharing the podium for this particular award. The second award goes to a student in the Family Law Division of the Access to Justice Clinic. This student contributed meaningfully in every class and was diligent in her written work and supported her classmates and fostered a very collaborative learning environment in the clinic. She also is a second career law student, and she had extensive experience outside of the law. She brought those valuable perspectives to every class and every client interaction that she had. Weekly, students in this clinic volunteer at the Family Law Self-Help Center at DC Superior Court, helping pro se litigants navigate the legal system and the law, and also the bureaucracy that you find there. The awardee's calming presence allowed her to excel in all of these interactions with litigants. Her supervisor noted that she was, quote, she constantly treated even the most ornery individuals with kindness and compassion. One example involved a distressed woman at Self-Help, whom the awardee spent nearly 2 hours assisting with filings. When asked about it, she downplayed her skills, saying, quote, "The woman really wanted to see her kids again and no one else was listening to her, so I just listened." For her listening, her diligence, and her care, we bestow the Richard C. Lewis Award to Carla Moss. And now I'll pass the presentation over to Andrea Johnson, Managing Attorney for the Jacob Burns Community Legal Clinics.
This is the first year the Susan Jones Memorial Entrepreneur and Community Empowerment Award is being presented. Professor Susan Jones was the GW Law Clinic's longest-serving faculty member. She passed away in 2024. This award, established in her honor, is given to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who exemplifies Professor Jones's values of community empowerment, financial literacy, and social entrepreneurism. The winner of this year's award participated in the GW Law Small Business and Community Economic Development Clinic. She worked closely with a major nonprofit organization focused on strengthening Southeast DC's healthy and equitable food system. In doing this work, she excelled not only in her execution of complex legal tasks and rigorous analysis, but also in her deep awareness of the client's broader mission and values. Her ability to navigate legal issues and complete excellent client work product while keeping her clients' goals front and center is what truly set her apart. She collaborates effectively, contributes meaningfully to clinic discussions, and models the kind of professionalism that represents the best of the legal profession. For these reasons, it is my pleasure to bestow the Susan Jones Memorial Entrepreneur and Community Empowerment Award to Lauren Sturm. I now welcome Alfreda Robinson, Associate Dean for Trial Advocacy, Professorial Lecturer in Law, Co-Director of the Litigation and Dispute Resolution Program, to present our first award in the Distinguished Accomplishment category.
The Justice Thurgood Marshall Civil Liberties Award is presented to a graduating Juris Doctor or Master of Laws student who has exhibited outstanding performance in and dedication to the field of civil rights and civil liberties. This year we have two winners. The first winner exemplifies the commitment and promise that the award is designed to honor. Ever since college, he has set his sights on becoming a defender of voting rights and indigent criminal defense. He has and will continue to do so. Please congratulate Gideon Epstein. Gideon could not be with us today, but we will make sure he receives his award. The second winner has demonstrated extraordinary dedication, efforts, and activities in the areas of civil rights and civil liberties. She has worked at the ACLU, two law firms dedicated to fighting discrimination, and the GW Law Clinics. Please congratulate Jasmine Williams. Just one moment, Jasmine. Just one moment, please step here. The Michael Dillon Cooley Memorial Award is presented to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who most successfully maintained his or her compassion, vitality, and humanity during law school. This award is highly coveted because the recipient is selected by a vote of the graduating class. Please congratulate the recipient of the Michael Dillon Cooley Award, Jasmine Williams. No, you don't- no. You- The National Association of Women Lawyers Outstanding Law Graduate Award is presented to a student who contributes to the advancement of women in society, promotes issues and concerns of women in the legal profession, exhibits motivation, tenacity, and enthusiasm, demonstrates academic achievement, and who has earned the respect of the law school faculty and administration. Our winner today embodies all of these attributes. Her nominator said about her, her decision to pursue law was deeply rooted in her desire to challenge systemic inequities in college athletics. And she has continued that mission through her legal work representing women entrepreneurs, mentoring first-year semester student attorneys, and supporting young women through alumni networks and National Girls and Women in Sports Day initiatives. As a new mother, yay, a law student and member of the Clinical Program Student Advisory Council, she brings a deeply personal and professional understanding of the barriers women face and actively works to dismantle them. Her academic excellence, service to others, and lifelong dedication to empowering women make her a truly exceptional candidate for this award. Please join me in congratulating Sarah Gates Pacuni. I now hand over the presentations to Judge Greg Maggs.
The Robert E. Tebow and Richard B. Skank Award for service to the military recognizes one or more members of the graduating class who have undertaken extraordinary efforts to honor, assist, or otherwise support veterans and current members of the United States Armed Forces, and who possess the personal qualities that reflect the qualities of Robert Tebow and Richard Skank, both of whom were military members, including honor, integrity, leadership, self-sacrifice, selfless service, and courage. A part of this award is that the recipient receives a flag that is flown over the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Armed Forces Courthouse with an accompanying certificate. This year, there are two very worthy recipients who work to create ways to give back to those who served. These two students worked as a team, each leading a student group that served veterans in the military. They organized career panels, scholarly discussions, pro bono projects, a military appellate court outreach argument, hosted a talk with the Chief Judge of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Armed Forces for Veterans Day, and many other events. They work with law school professors and staff and other student groups, helping to promote services to active duty military, reservists, and veterans. They also kept veterans apprised of scholarships, benefits, and career opportunities. The first recipient of this award has been a key leader in service to the military and veterans and has been the face of the National Security Law Program, welcoming veterans and military members to the law school. While at GW Law, he served as the director of events and then president of the National Security Law Association. He has mentored numerous students and coordinated and promoted a wide variety of events, from hosting leaders from the military and defense community to providing outreach and networking opportunities. The first recipient of the Robert E. Tebow and Richard B. Skank Award for service to the military is Luke Schlobaum. The second recipient of this award is a veteran who served as a naval surface warfare officer prior to law school. She has been involved in promoting service to military and veterans throughout her time at GW Law, serving first as the Vice President of the Veteran Law Students Association and then President, and previously serving as the Vice President of the National Security Law Association. She actively led events with key veteran leaders, including Veterans Welcome Back Reception and the Veterans Day community celebrations. She has also promoted opportunities for veterans and military service members. The second recipient of the Robert E. Tebow and Richard B. Skank Award for Service to the Military is Allie Vaughn. The Judge Robert W. Titus Award is awarded to a graduating student who seeks or obtains a federal district court clerkship and who embodies the qualities of academic excellence, personality, and humility that Judge Titus sought in his law clerks. This year's recipient exemplifies all of these qualities. After graduating, he will clerk for Judge John Brooms of the United States District Court for the District of Kansas, and then for Judge Joel M. Carson III of the United States Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit. I should mention that Judge Titus hired a GW graduate nearly every year that he was on the bench. He called us and told us, "I can't help it. I just have to keep hiring them." Judge Titus was a Georgetown graduate. The winner of the Judge Roger W. Titus Award is Elijah Pardo. The Ladakis and Weston Law Review Award, Best Notes Stipend, is named in honor of Howard J. Rudge's GW Law professors Gust A. Ladakis and Glenn Weston. Each year, one student from the George Washington Law Review is chosen to receive the Ladakis and Weston George Washington Law Review Best Note Award, established in 2015 to encourage student scholarship by rewarding the most innovative, creative, and thoughtful student note. The winner of the award wrote, "Get in, litigants, we're going judge shopping," and was published in volume 93 of the GW Law Review. The note addresses the important and timely issue of judge shopping and is exceptionally well written and researched. Please congratulate Shlok Nair. I will now invite Rosa Solario, Burnett Family Associate Dean and Distinguished Professorial Lecturer in International and Comparative Law and Policy, to the podium to continue our awards presentation.
Our next award this afternoon, the Thelma Weaver Memorial Award, is presented to the foreign graduate student who, in the judgment of the Dean and the International Graduate Studies Committee, contributed most to the intellectual and professional life of the law school, its students, and faculty. It was established by the late Professor David Weaver in honor of his wife, Thelma, who was devoted to our foreign students. This year's winner is currently pursuing her LLM degree in International and Comparative Law with a concentration in International Arbitration. She worked tirelessly to create a new comparative law association at the law school and has supported many LLM students to thrive during their time with us. She is intelligent, She is focused. She's incredibly creative. We all very much look forward to seeing all that she will accomplish in the future, which I'm pretty sure will be tremendous. This year, the recipient of the Weaver Award is Enya Stefan. I'm now pleased to hand the celebration over to Robin Juni, Associate Professor of Fundamentals of Lawyering, to begin the presentation of awards for excellence in a general field of study.
Good afternoon. I am pleased to start the presentation of awards for excellence in general fields of study. I am so pleased so many of my 1L students are getting awards today. I am so proud of all of you. So our first award this afternoon in a general field of study is the Ogden W. Fields Award, which is given to a member of the Juris Doctor class who has demonstrated the highest overall proficiency in labor law. Our winner this afternoon is Hannah Katz. Our second Labor and Employment Award is the Lawrence E. Seibel Award, which is given to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who's demonstrated overall excellence in the labor and employment law field. And our winner today is Christina Hitchcock. I am pleased to turn the program next to Assistant Dean for Business and Finance Law, Michael Rand.
Thank you, Professor Juni. The Richard L. Teberg Award is presented to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who demonstrates the highest overall proficiency in the area of securities law. The winner is Michael Shulian. Michael could not be with us today, but we will make sure that he receives his certificate, and I'd invite all to give a warm round of applause. The Henry R. Berger Award is presented to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who has demonstrated excellence in the area of tort law. The winning student is Joseph Arkfeld. I would like to invite Professor Bob Brauneis, the Michael J. McKeon Professor of Intellectual Property Law and co-director of the George Washington Center for Law and Technology, to the stage to continue the presentation.
Thank you, Michael, and welcome, everyone. Our next award this afternoon is given to a member of the graduating JD class who exhibits excellence in the area of patent law. It is awarded in the memory of Chris Bartok, who tragically passed away while a student here at GW. It was Chris's great desire to study patent law, and it is now the wish of his family that his memory lives on in the accomplishments of students highly skilled in this area. The winner is Brian Smallshaw. Brian. You can give us that description. Okay, the next award is actually 4 awards. The Finnegan Prizes are sponsored by the law firm of Finnegan Henderson, which has long been a leader in IP practice and a friend of the law school. These prizes are given to the Juris Doctor or LLM students who produce the best publishable articles on intellectual property law, or some field of intellectual property law. 4 winners to honor today. There are 2 students who tied for the 3rd place. So first we recognize the student who wrote The Story of Us, Re-Recording Rights in the Music Industry's Post-Taylor's Version. Please congratulate Lexi Merment. All right. Second, we recognize the student who wrote Solving a Patent Infringement Loophole for Objects in Outer Space, a novel interpretation to 35 U.S.C. Section 105. This is a name you may recognize. Please congratulate Brian Smallshaw. Okay. The 2nd place Finnegan Prize goes to the student who wrote Deus Ex Machina, an argument in favor of copyright protections for Gen AI-assisted works. Please congratulate Nicholas Barker. Okay, last but actually first. The 1st place goes to the student who wrote Uplifting Upcycling, How Trademark Law Should Be Reformed to Permit Upcycling. Please congratulate Natalie Smith. So our next award this afternoon, the Rosenberg Prize, is our highest intellectual property award. And it is presented to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who has demonstrated the highest overall excellence in patent and intellectual property law studies. Our winner is Lorna Strachan. Lorna. And it's now my pleasure to introduce Randall Abate, Assistant Dean for Environmental Law Studies, to the stage for the next 2 awards.
Thank you, Professor Brauneis. Next award is the Charles and Catherine Miller Environmental Law Award. And this award is presented to the member of the graduating class who has demonstrated excellence in the field of environmental law. The award is named in honor of retired Dean Lee Paddock's grandparents, who lived on a centennial farm on Lake Michigan, and that's the place where he developed his interest in the environment. And we're grateful that former Dean Paddock and currently distinguished professorial lecturer in law Paddock is still teaching in our program, and we're very excited about that and grateful for establishing this award. This year's winner completed perhaps the widest range of coursework in program history. So I believe in that principle. You can say you're interested in something, but it's better if you show it. And this student certainly did, taking classes in environmental law, environmental issues and business transactions, international environmental law, environmental justice, environmental energy law and regulation, toxic substances law, environmental negotiations, and trade and sustainable development, and had time to take a few other law courses as well in her JD program. But well beyond her excellence in the classroom, she applied these skills in 3 experiential contexts, the first of which involved her work in our environmental justice mini clinic, submitting comments to HUD on lead poisoning protection, and later co-authoring a blog article on the basis of that work that was published in the Harvard Public Health blog. She also interned with the Food and Water Watch and Center for Biological Diversity, and last and certainly not least, served as editor-in-chief of the GW Journal of Energy and Environmental Law, which I had the great privilege of supervising her outstanding work in that capacity. And her leadership helped the journal transition between publishers this year and also secure an incredibly impressive slate of articles. Most importantly, in my view, all that hard work paid off and is quite evident in that after graduation, this student will be working as Climate Adaptation Fellow at the Georgetown Climate Center at Georgetown Law School. The Energy and Environmental Law faculty at GW Law is very excited to honor Sydney Lee with this award. And the second Environmental Law Program Award is the Jamie Grodsky Prize for Environmental Law Scholarship. Each spring, GW Law presents the Jamie Grodsky Prize for Environmental Law Scholarship for the best paper written by a JD, LLM, or SJD student in the field of environmental law. The prize commemorates the innovative research of Professor Jamie Grodsky, who passed away in 2010 and is profoundly missed. The prize is funded by a generous gift from Professor Jamie Grodsky's father, Dr. Gerald Grodsky, and memorial gifts from friends of the on the faculty. This year's winning paper is titled Regenerative Waste: How the Doctrine of Waste Can Incentivize the Adoption of Regenerative Agriculture Practices. If that sounds sophisticated, it's because it is. The paper argues that regenerative agriculture practices can build resilience to the environmental changes associated with climate change. And it also recommends that landowners work with tenant farmers to transition from industrial to regenerative agriculture and leverage the property law doctrine of waste if tenant farmers are unwilling to do so. This student has accepted an associate position at the Harrisburg, PA office of K&L Gates. The Environmental and Energy Law faculty has selected graduating student Coleman Weaver for the Grodsky Prize. It is now my pleasure to introduce Alan Morrison, Lerner Family Associate Dean for Public Interest and Public Service Law and Professorial Lecturer in Law, for the presentation of the next 2 awards.
Thank you. Our next award is the Joel B. Rosenthal Commercial Law Award. It is presented to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who has demonstrated excellence in the area of commercial law. Our winner today is Lenny Elias. Our next award is the Howard J. Rudge Creative Solutions Prize. Mr. Rudge, member of the class of 1964 and retired senior vice president of DuPont Corporation, has endowed this award for presentation to members of the graduating JD class who writes the best paper proposing a creative solution to a serious societal problem in the United States. This is not a standard law review treatment of a case or an area of law. Rather, students focus on a particular problem for which conventional solutions do not seem to be working and propose an alternative that is effective, reasonable in cost, and politically possible. The first place winner this year wrote an essay entitled "The False Claims Act as a Tool for Combating Inequities in Healthcare," adding disparate treatment as an aggravating factor for liability. The reason this person wrote about this was before she came to law school, she was a medical doctor for over 20 years. And so the award winner today is Yolanda Heeman-Acker. Now, please welcome Jessica Tillman, Associate Dean for Governmental Procurement Law Studies, Government Contracts Advisory Council, Professorial Lecturer in Government Contracts Law, Practice and Policy, to present the next award.
Okay, congratulations, graduates. The Patricia A. Tobin Award is given to a member of the graduating Juris Doctor or Master of Laws class who demonstrates excellence in the area of government procurement law. Not only did this year's winner serve as editor-in-chief of our beloved Public Contract Law Journal, but also on the executive board of the Government Contract Student Association, and I would also be remiss if I didn't mention, worked as my research assistant since he was a 1L, and also co-authored and published an incredibly timely and important article with me on conflicts of interest in government procurement. So let's say congratulations to this year's winner, Brian Duwan. It is now my pleasure to introduce Andra Roy Chernak, Director of Disability Support Services, Senior Academic Advisor, and Professorial Lecturer in Law, to introduce the next group of awards.
Thank you, Dean Tillman. It is really such a pleasure to be celebrating with you all today. Our next award is the Jeannie Hassler-Walburn Award, and it is presented to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who has demonstrated the highest level of excellence in the area of civil procedure. Please congratulate Erin McGuire. The Imogen Williford Award is given to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who demonstrates excellence in the area of constitutional law. Our award winner is Daniel Cooper. I'm now pleased to introduce David Johnson, Assistant Dean for Advocacy Programs and Professorial Lecturer in Law, to continue the award presentation.
Our
Our first advocacy awards is the Jacob Burns Award. This is given to the winners of the Van Vleck Moot Court competition. If you're not familiar with what a moot court is a fake argument before the U.S. Supreme Court. If you don't know what that is like, you come up to the podium, you're ready to give an argument, and you're immediately interrupted with questions. Winning this award any year would be an exceptional accomplishment, but it was particularly impressive this year. We had a record 124 students compete. That's 62 teams of 2. 70% of the teams wanted a coach, but this winning team did not have a coach. This team was the #1 seeded team after the preliminary rounds, and they were a hot knife through butter through all 61 other teams in the competition. And if that were not enough, the final round was judged by Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, David Barron, Chief Judge of the Second Circuit, and Judge Rupali Desai of the Ninth Circuit. This is the only award decided by 3 sitting judges. And just to add one more thing, the dean told me the night before the finals she couldn't sleep because she was so nervous, and the day after the finals she was so happy she couldn't sleep again. These 2 people made GW very, very proud, and they are Claire Housley and Emma Stinson. But to get to any appeal, you have to have a trial. And our next award is the Cohen & Cohen Mock Trial Award, given to the winners of the annual Cohen & Cohen Mock Trial competition. A mock trial is the classic trial that you've seen in all the movies. You're giving an opening statement, a closing argument, you're crossing witnesses, your direct examination of witnesses, you're making objections. These are our 2 silver-tongued devils. The winners of this award this year of the 2024 competition are Chase O'Brien and Emma Wardur. And Emma was also selected Best Oral Advocate of the competition. The next award is the Judge Albert H. Grenadier Award. Judge Grenadier's family felt it was very important that GW Law compete in 2 competitions, the New York Bar National Moot Court Competition and the Jessup International Law Moot Court Competition. The first recipient competed and represented GW in the 2023 National Moot Court Competition, and he is Shaksam Sabarwal. Oh dear. And in 2024-2025, the Jessup competition was coached by I can't find it. Anyways, the team that competed in the Jessup competition this year went to a East Regional in Charlotte, North Carolina, where they were coached by Leah Calabro. There we go. And Leah said the team performed exceptionally well, making it to the octo finals, the top 16 out of 48 teams. I'm extremely proud of them. The recipients of this award, this year's Jessup team, is Caitlin Hires, Jasmine Montano, Hagar Sivan, and Joanne Wickie. The next award is the Pamela Spinogle International Commercial Arbitration Award. This is given to the team that represents GW at the Wilhelm Wiss competition, which occurs annually in Hong Kong or in Vienna, Austria. This year, these students traveled to Hong Kong. They are coached on a weekly basis by a series of international arbitration attorneys from the law firm of Covington and Burling. The recipients are Eric Anthony, Nawal Sidat, Raisa Shah, and Melis Ulusal. The next award is the Rothwell Fig Ernst and Manbeck Award. It is presented to the winning team of our Rothwell Intellectual Property Moot Court competition. This team then goes on to compete in the national Giles Rich Intellectual Property Moot Court competition, and this team did very well in the Giles Rich competition. They reached the quarterfinals of the Southeast Regional in Atlanta. One member of this winning team graduated last year, but the second member is with us today, Will Shorter. And the last Oral Advocacy Award is the M. Ethan Lucarelli Moot Court Award. Ethan Lucarelli was a wonderful adjunct professor here at the law school who unexpectedly passed away. Many of his best friends are alums of this law school. They came together to create this award, which very generously Dean Matthew matched. This is the first year that we are presenting this award. This award, we were looking for the best moot court student in the graduating class. And interestingly, I think the best analogy to this award comes from my friend Alberto Benitez. Alberto is a long-suffering fan of the Buffalo Bills. And he will tell you that the Bills have not won a championship, but he will also tell you Josh Allen won the MVP this year. This student as well never won a competition here at GW, but he was the best student in the graduating class. As a 2L, he represented GW down in New Orleans at a Mardi Gras Sports Law Invitational Moot Court competition where his team reached the quarterfinals. As a 3L, he competed in the Van Vleck Moot Court competition where his team came in second to Emma and Claire. However, what does distinguish him is on the first day of the competition, 93 attorneys scored every student competing in the competition, and he was judged to be the best oral advocate in the competition. The winner of the first Ethan Lucarelli Moot Court Award is William Schubert. It is now my pleasure to introduce Scott Allen, it's not Josh Allen, Scott Pagel, Associate Dean for Information Services and Professor of Law, to begin the presentation of awards for excellence in a general field of study.
Thank you, Dean Johnson. The first of the awards for overall academic excellence is the Kappa Beta Pi Award. The Kappa Beta Pi Awards are presented to the women in the full-time and part-time divisions who attained the highest cumulative averages in the first year of legal study. In the day division, our winner is Lexi Orgel. In the evening division, the student with the highest GPA in the first year of law school is Eliza Puritz. The next award is the Phi Delta Delta Award. The Phi Delta Delta Award is presented to the female student who attained the single highest cumulative average in the first semester. With a 4.08 GPA in the first semester of law school, the winning student is Abigail Stein. The next two awards are endowed in the name of John Ordronaux, both recognizing exceptional performance during a single year of law school. The first Ordronaux Award recognizes the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who attained the highest cumulative average in the first year full-time course of study. With a first-year GPA of 4.032, our winner is Lexi Orgel. The second Ordronaux Award recognizes the highest cumulative average in the second year full-time course of study. With a second-year GPA of 4.136, our winner is Sean Houlihan. I am now pleased to welcome to the podium Steve Schooner, the Jeffrey and Martha Cohn Senior Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and the Nash and Sabinic Professor of Government Procurement Law, to finish our presentation of awards today.
The Charles Glover Award is presented to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who attained the highest cumulative average in the third year full-time course of study. With a GPA of 4.19, this year's Charles Glover Award winner is Nicole Economou. Oh, sure. The Willard Waddington Gottschall Awards, among our final awards this afternoon, recognize 3 members of the graduating Juris Doctor class who have attained the highest cumulative averages over their entire law school careers. It goes without saying that these recipients have worked very hard in each of their courses, each semester, throughout each year of law school. It is my pleasure to announce the winners, but to be clear, in no particular order in rank. The 3 winners of the Gottschall Awards are Nicole Economou, Charles Arnett, and Sean Houlihan. and dear to my heart, the Ann Wells Branscombe Award is presented to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who attained the highest cumulative average in the part-time division for the entire course of the degree. This might otherwise be called the Excellence in Time Management Award, as the recipients excelled above all classmates in juggling the rigors of the curriculum while working and attending law school in the evenings. As someone who got a degree from GW in the evening, I can tell you that all deans and faculty accord the highest respect to the students in the part-time program, and most certainly to the Branscombe recipient. Our winner today is Charles Arnett. Big inhale. Our final award this afternoon, the John Bell Larner Award, is given to the member of the graduating Juris Doctor class who attained the highest cumulative average in the entire course of the degree. This is, of course, the award that designates the student with the highest distinction for overall academic excellence in the graduating class. This is the last award that we calculate after all grades have been recorded. It represents an extraordinary effort. We are very, very proud to honor today, and I encourage all the graduates and guests to help us join in congratulating the student who earned the highest overall GPA in the 2025 graduating class, Nicole Economo.
Wow. I do want to acknowledge that we couldn't have done any of these awards without the incredible hard work of lots of people you don't see here. So every time we calculate a grade or do a survey, it's our records office, it's our staff in the Dean of Students office. All of the placements are done by the Field Placement Office, and there are so many other people that are a part of our community that make these awards possible. But none so much as Mr. Andrew Raylon, who is actually Dr. Andrew Raylon. And I want to thank him for an impeccable ceremony. Well done. Lastly, you'll note that all of these awards were named after someone, and that's because we have another group of people to thank, and that is the generous benefactors who, in memory of friends, family, colleagues, teachers, and others, have donated to this award ceremony the finances that allow us to give these awards. I want to ask you to join me in thanking all of those who were so generous to endow these awards. And now I welcome to the podium Associate Dean of Students, Jason Belk.
I said I wasn't going to say this, but I am. So not only are our students brilliant, but they are very fashionable. We have seen some fabulous shoes today. Everything from sparkles to Chucks. We are going to have a shoe cam next year, I have decided. So as we come to the close of today's ceremony, I'd like to ask our graduates in joining me in a round of applause for those who helped get you here, your family, your friends, your supporters, and yes, we have heard your pets. So if you could join me in thanking them. Thank you all. Now, I would say to the family and friends, like, I love orientation and graduation because everybody's happy then. But we all know what happens in between. And it's you all who've taken the late night phone calls, the text, and given the moral support to these folks that made it happen. And so we really do appreciate you as part of our extended GW community. I'd also like our families, because I know everyone's hands are raw from clapping, but if our families could please, and friends, and well, probably not pets, but if you could also join me in congratulating your graduates for all of their hard work. Thank you. So I would just like to thank everyone for being here today. Congratulations again. We can't wait to see you all tomorrow. And so this concludes our academic awards celebration. Congratulations one more time. So we are going to let me just give this instruction real quick. So we're going to process out following the dean and then our graduates, and then we would welcome our family, friends, and pets to meet everyone out in the lobby. Thank you again.